So by way of introduction, and for most of you, Lynn needs no introduction, but I will say that a lot of these folks that are involved in the working groups have been involved for many, many years. Lynn holds the distinction of having been involved with GLOBE since it actually began. So that is an amazing achievement in and of itself. Let's give it up for Lynn and the Education Working Group.
Somehow I got handed the microphone to lead a chant. We had a lot of fun in the Education Working Group yesterday. A lot of laughs as we realized that there's a particular Pink Floyd song that speaks to us. So these guys are going to say it once, and then it's for everybody to say. This is kind of like a vocal energizer. And so, yeah, upstanding, please. And to the theme and to the tune of Pink Floyd, what do we say? 1, 2, 3. Oi! Teachers! Teach those kids to blow. And now it's your turn. Everybody stand up. Oh, yeah. I'll give it a count of 3, and then we're all just gonna say that. If you don't know the words or the song, just say it anyway. Whatever language feels right. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oi! Teachers! Teach those kids to blow. Woo!
That was so good, I wanted to keep going.
Right.
Hello. Oh. Hello, everyone. I'm Dario Grevi from Latin America and the region, and the Caribbean region, and I like to introduce each of member of our group. I'm really proud to work with each of us. Okay, from Asia and the Pacific, can you stand up? Rod Alan Adelara is our vice chair. From North America, we have the president of Dorian, Jenny, our recorder and NASA reporter representative, and Ule Kikas from Europe and Eurasia. And you have a difficult name to say. Yes, Nahid Nail from Near East and North Africa. And Ngose Fall from Africa. Our chair, Lynn Hare from the North America. And the last but not the least, Simon Castro Woodbridge, our GIO liaison. Okay. Next slide, please.
So the main focus of the Education Working Group, at least for the past 10 years, has been the review of the trainer and mentor-trainer process, which really began in 2012. This was completed back in 2019, and it was introduced to the community during the annual meeting in Michigan. And for those of you who are not familiar with the trainer-mentor-trainer process, this is a support structure that helps ensure that all the GLOBE protocols is consistently applied throughout in all the classrooms around the world. And it provides GLOBE trainers and mentor trainers with consistency in protocol teaching, workshop implementation throughout the GLOBE community.
I'm just going to gently nudge. Anyone presenting needs to be on the stage, just for the camera.
It's always just about the camera. All righty then, fine. So we are really working hard to involve and engage new audiences, and one of those audiences, people like myself, lifelong learners, people age 55 and over. So one of the things that we've talked about, since many of us fall into that illustrious category, is what are we currently doing in a realm of different ways to involve and engage lifelong learners with GLOBE. We have created an advisory group, we have a working space, a base camp, and we're formalizing a plan of action. We have been working with the NASA Earth Science Education Collaborative, and that continues to help us with GLOBE stakeholders and providing feedback and guidance. The benefit to the community is, when you think about it, lifelong learners are a huge untapped community with diverse interests and many different reasons for being involved in citizen science efforts. Lots and lots of opportunity here for GLOBE to include different cultures and effective ways to sustain citizen scientists within the GLOBE program.
So we have worked on learning activity submission guideline, task details. What we have completed, an in-depth study for organizing current online GLOBE materials and future submissions was conducted. And the decision reached to update the current online resource storage retrieval system. As a summary, the GLOBE learning activity submission process has been delayed to ensure consistency of content and retrieval format within the entire GLOBE online system. Benefits of our work to the community is that lessons and resources created by the GLOBE community can be more easily found online. And it's an opportunity, it's new learning opportunities, protocols and activities will be more accessible to the GLOBE communities.
So to become a GLOBE trainer, you need to go through a process of observation. To do that, we suggested basic, advanced, and optional protocols for use with the candidate trainer observation process, and these are now available on the GLOBE to the GLOBE community. Much discussion occurred during our talks regarding how many protocols you should know or what has to be done, and after talking with the science working group, a document is now available with suggestions to what GLOBE trainers and GLOBE mentor trainers should know and should be able to teach. Benefits to the community: suggested GLOBE protocol knowledge and teaching ability for GLOBE trainers. Opportunity to provide continuity and consistency for the GLOBE training community.
Education Working Group Task Focus 2023 to 2024. First point, learning material repository. Our concentration during first half of the year. Review progress at the annual meeting. 2 point, teacher's guide update. Our concentration during last half of the year. Review progress at the annual meeting. At first, increase in-person teacher workshop throughout the year. Working shop group consultation. The Education and Science Working Group have created a suggested protocols document for GLOBE training and GLOBE mentor training to be ready to teach at workshops. The Education Working Group Vice Chair is a member of the Technology Accessibility SIP Committee. The Education Working Group is also open to assist in providing input in the GLOBE community in general and GLOBE Working Group in particular. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Comments? Tomorrow afternoon from 4 to 5, we have a training, mentor training hour to discuss all of that, and we'd like to see all of you there. One more chance. You lead it.
All right, thank you to the Education Working Group for getting us started. So I think you get even a little bit of an idea from this presentation how incredibly hard not just the Education Working Group, but all of these working groups do during the year. It's worth noting that this is all a voluntary effort, and they are so inspired and enthusiastic about this work that they put in a lot of time. So I really, really appreciate what each working group is doing, and just thought I'd mention that now as we're getting started here. So the next group that I'm going to call up is the DEI group. If you want to come to the stage.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the GLOBE family. My name is Dr. Nikita Kimbarai-Mani. I'm a professor at the University of Nebraska-Omaha, another part of the Plains. And over the last 3 years, it has been my privilege and my honor to work with my colleagues in the formation and the elaboration of what we know now as our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Working Group. I'm going to pass the microphone, let each of them introduce themselves. I will say that I have had, when I say it's an honor and a privilege to work with these people, I am 100% sincere, and you are well served by them. So I'm going to pass the microphone, and then I'll bring it back.
Thank you, Manny. My name is Juan Felipe Restrepo Mesa. I represent Latin America and the Caribbean in the DEI Working Group. I have the privilege to be part of the DEI Task Force, and I work at the Colegio Montessori of Cartagena in Colombia, and GLOBE member since 2018. So it's been something really great for me in these nearly 5 years to have the chance and the honor to work with these amazing people in the DEI Working Group. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Shadrach Kweku Ejiri. I represent Africa on the DEI Working Group. I'm a teacher at the University of Ghana Basic School. Thank you.
I'm Marina Pavlic, represented Eurasia, and I'm author in my school. I'm retired, but I work with students.
Hello, I am Rosalba Gerratano. I am NASA's liaison to the DEI Working Group, and I have also been part of this effort since the DEI Task Force, so it has been great to be part of this family.
Hi, my name is Francis Embrelino. I'm from the Philippines, and I teach at the Philippine Science High School System. And I've also been part of the DEI Task Force since 2020, and also been fortunate enough to be part of the DEI Working Group for the past 2 or 3 years.
We should mention, ladies and gentlemen, that several of our colleagues are not here at the moment. One I'd like to mention is Trina Farrell. I'd also like to mention Rafat, who I saw here a little earlier, but he may have stepped out. And of course, oh, is he here? And also our liaison is Grace, who you probably have seen around, and we're very honored to have her. So at this point, I've been drafted by the group to try to talk a little bit about what we've been working on recently. It probably helps, since our group was formed during a time when a lot was going on, obviously, for GLOBE and the global community, to talk about why we were created and what we're about. We're interested in creating a culture of belonging We recognize that Globe is indeed a global community with lots of people from lots of societies and cultures and languages and human experiences. We want to make sure that those are incorporated in Globe practices, Globe processes, and most importantly, that there are not impediments to what we call the full participation in the Globe experience at any level, whether it's student or teacher or scholar professional. Our mission is encapsulated by this statement, which I'll read. We commit to encouraging open collaboration and communication to build and sustain a diverse, just, equitable, and inclusive program. And of course, this again are the distinguished colleagues, some of which you've seen and some who are not represented here at the moment. During this particular year, we have been focused on, and in fact, I'll say most of our operations are focused on 3 primary areas. One, obviously, is language. We're very, very interested in making sure that as many of the languages that are represented by the Globe constituency are represented in our programming and what it is that we do. So we spend an awful lot of time working on language. Every aspect of language, from translation to making sure that materials and tools are available in those languages so that students and teachers can onboard the Globe protocols and the other aspects of what it is that we do. Being a clearinghouse at time for e-learning materials and other materials so that people who are doing that onboarding and participatory process can do it in their own native languages. And we continue to do a lot of that work. One of the things we've been involved in, as you can see from the slide, is as an outgrowth of the Mosquito Project, we were able to do some Spanish language work throughout the region, certainly this hemisphere, to help Spanish language speakers who were actually engaged in that project. We are interested in working on best practice models for onboarding language. We recognize that language translation and other things related to language can be at times cost prohibitive, and so we're interested in building, if you will, a cohort of translators and other people who help us in that process of language accessibility. We're also interested in general in, and have been working for some time now on documenting the things that we're doing in terms of STEM writ large. There are a lot of organizations in STEM that are interested in onboarding globally as well as domestically, particularly with disadvantaged communities that have a number of challenges, and we think it's very important that we document what we're doing. And so we're looking at a series of publications and other ways of reaching out to the scholarly community so that we can truly have a global STEM, both in earth science and also in larger areas of STEM. We are working on a major project now focused on Eastern Europe and Eastern European languages, helping teachers and students to onboard Globe protocols. Some of our materials are directly accessible and translated, some of them are not. One of the things that I always like to mention is that sometimes people rely on Google Translate and Microsoft Translator and so forth and so on. Those of us who've ever had any serious experience with those things know the challenges, and so we're hoping for a broader and more effective kind of translation experience there. Major initiative for our planning is looking at economics as a DEI issue. You know, often there are economic impediments, even attending annual meetings, and being able to purchase the materials and tools that you need to accentuate and actuate the Globe protocols. We're hoping to help alleviate that and find a number of facilities for addressing those challenges for people in our constituency who have them. We're also concerned about, and someone had already mentioned, those people who have visual challenges in hearing, challenges in physical impediments. We all know that those are also things that we need to focus on. We do that sometimes in collegiality with other working groups, and then we have our own initiatives as well. But we really have this central and persistent and overriding focus in making sure that Globe indeed is for everybody, and that Globe can be assessed for everybody, and that everyone can benefit from Globe. We are very concerned about recognition of our teachers. One issue that has come to our attention is the fact that many teachers have to get support from their local and regional school systems, and sometimes that's a political and ideological matter, and a lot of whether you get support is based on how much recognition you get for the things that you have done. And so we think it's very, very important to incentivize and encourage our teachers and our students in all the different ways you can think of doing that. And so we're spending a lot of time talking about that because we want to make sure not only that you can onboard Globe, but that you can stay with Globe and that you can persist. That's good for us from a scientific data collection standpoint, but it's also good from our community building standpoint as well. One of the outgrowths has been our International Cookbook Project, and I'm sure some of you may have heard about this in various ways, but we all like to eat. That turns out to be a human thing as far as I'm aware of. And we're interested in cooking as it's embedded in cultures and the various kinds of constituencies that we have in Globe. And so we're kind of putting that together because we always want to remind the Globe community of how global we really are, beyond simply a list of, here are all the countries, but also here are the experiences and the perspectives and the other things that we bring collectively. We also have a diversity initiative going on during the meeting, and I wish Trina was here to talk just a little bit more about that. I'm aware that we do have some time constraints, so I do want to talk just for a moment about our cross-collaborations. A lot of what we do is in conjunction with all the other outstanding people who are in the different working groups, and a lot of times they will come to us and they will ask us to talk about the accessibility aspects of what it is that they're in the process of doing, whether it's a new technology or tool. And we try to be as responsive as we can and inclusive in making sure that the things that we develop serve all the members of our constituency. So, having said all of that, all we need now is you and your input. Obviously, we work to serve the global community, and we're interested in knowing what impediments or challenges you might have. There may be things on our agenda or the things that need to be on our agenda that we are not aware of. Please make sure you communicate with us, with all of the respective members, so that we can continue to serve. And we thank you.
So I thought it was interesting that he was talking about visual inclusion. It's ironic that my eyes aren't actually good enough to see what's on this screen, let alone the fact that I only use Macs and PCs are a mystery to me. So inclusivity shows up in a lot of different ways. But seriously, the importance of inclusion and diversity in our current world is probably accentuated beyond, and thank you for helping, because Tony and I both have some of the same difficulties. It's a moment and a time in history, I think, where our emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion is all the more important. So we are going to move now to the science working group, if you all would like to come up.
Thank you. I think we have everyone here. Great. Okay. Welcome to the Science Working Group, and I'll let each of you introduce yourselves, and then we'll go with what we've been doing. But first of all, my name is Rebecca Boger, or Becky. I'm the North American representative and currently the chair of the working group. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marile Colon Robles. I am the clouds person, but in this role, I'm the NASA liaison and the at-large chair.
Hello, my name is Paula. I represent American, Latina, and Caribe. I'm very happy.
I'm Hamid. I'm working as an associate professor at Sultan Qaboos University in Oman. My Globe journey started when I was in Ethiopia and Addis Ababa University. And I joined Globe in Oman, and I'm continuing as a working group member for the second time. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Rugano. I am first and foremost a Globe teacher, but I'm currently privileged to serve as the African representative in the Science Working Group. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rafaela. I'm the country coordinator of Israel, and I'm representing Globe Europe and Eurasia.
Hello, everyone. Mabuhay. Greetings from the Philippines. I am Josephine Joy Tolentino Antalan, and I am a teacher from the Philippine Science High School, and I represent Asia and Pacific for this Science Working Group.
Hello, everyone. My name is Claudia Caro. I'm from Peru, and I am a former member of this amazing Science Working Group. Thank you.
Thank you. We'd also like to recognize our previous members. Costas is here, but he's waving from behind, as well as those who are not present at the meeting this year, Malika and Margaret Pippin. So we have members that are new and old on the working group now, and also, how could I forget? We have, not officially, I guess, a member of the working group, but we have Dixon Butler as a consultant who participates in these meetings and provides invaluable input in the direction of the working group. So I'm going to go through what are our accomplishments for the past year, our upcoming tasks for the next year, and so on. So we've been working on some large projects that we've been finishing up, providing input on the process of proposing new or modified GLOBE scientific measurement protocols. Part of this is coming out through the work that we had done on sunsetting, which took several years to. Oh, are you asking me a question? Oh, no, sorry. We have been, for several years, working on the protocol bundles that are available on the GLOBE website under the Earth System sections, and we've been just modifying to make it look and feel the same way on the GLOBE website. We've been promoting the protocol bundles through blogs, social media, and other ways. Grace has been working on incorporating this into the student experience for the annual meeting here. And Joy has contributed an article about protocol bundles in the GLOBE September news brief. So, looking at what we are going to be doing for the upcoming year, we have a number of items that we are wanting to do, and we are looking for input from the GLOBE community to prioritize what we should be doing. So develop ways to have higher education professors and students involved with GLOBE, and diversify the types of professions or expertise that these higher education professionals have. And this is including, but not exclusive, to computer and AI scientists, climate, social, and environmental equity professors, strengthen the STEM professions, and also to strengthen the STEM professionals in each region so that we can deal with these diversity and inclusion questions that are so important to GLOBE. Develop ways in our materials encouraging microclimate research, more information on what's happening at the locality within a region. Climate research and materials, Grace presented the initiation of this year-long campaign. We can, working with the Science Working Group, develop materials and encourage research to facilitate this campaign. We are in an El Nino year, and there's going to be undoubtedly, and we are already experiencing heat waves, floodings, and increased fires. Look at the honor roll criteria. Does anything need to be changed or added? Use new protocol process to look at refractometer. Where is Peggy Fafaletta, who's been championing this, and look at and potentially look at other types of instruments. Work with other working groups to gather information on how existing GLOBE protocols are being used, and what types of instruments are being used. Again, coming back to the diversity, equity, and what's available to people around the world. Increase science mentoring for students and presenting GLOBE at international scientific events. I think I have an extra slide there. I'm sorry. We just did that. Oh, what is happening? Oh, I'm going backwards. I'm good now. Okay. Oh, okay. So I apologize. We have been, but wanting more to connect with the other working groups. And this has been an important theme at the work that we did yesterday in working, but this is something that's going to be an ongoing process. We have worked with the education group in what they've been doing with their protocols, classification. Marley has been an important member of the diversity committee, working on ways for GLOBE to be more inclusive for low vision and blind participants, and increasing AI scientists in the GLOBE International Science Network. Upcoming, looking at science criteria for evaluation and presenting GLOBE work through the GISN at UN Science Summit in October. So these are some, but we would like to do more. Now let me make sure I connect. Input from the GLOBE community, and this is very important. We want to know and be responsive to the GLOBE community. So how can the Science Working Group better serve the GLOBE community? How can we help to better integrate education, science, and technology for diverse audiences? How do we broaden the way GLOBE measurements are taken around the world without compromising data quality? So we are very much wanting to hear from you, whether it's during this annual meeting or at another time. So please, we look forward to ongoing discussions with all of you about how we make GLOBE better. It's already fantastic, but how do we make it better? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that. These questions, by the way, that are popping up are among the things that we'll have an opportunity, if you wish, and if you do come to the breakfast session on Wednesday morning between 8 and 9, we'll have a lot of these folks in the room and an opportunity to sit at tables and actually engage with each other, which is a little bit more difficult in this particular format. So, as you can see on the screen, the next group up is the Evaluation Working Group. If you all would like to come up.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for making it so long in the day. I appreciate your stamina. My name is Eleanor Jaffe, and I am the North America representative and vice chair of the Evaluation Working Group, as well as the evaluator for the U.S. GLOBE Coordination Office.
Namaste. Good afternoon. I'm Yogendra Chitakar, Working Group Chair. And yesterday I missed the day and I couldn't give any input on this working group meeting. So today, based on yesterday's interactions and our discussion, Eleanor is going to present today this presentation. So I hope it will justify.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Hello everyone. My name is Ilyas Destin Lawani. I'm at-large member of this evaluation working group. And I'm country coordinator of Benin and global coordinator for Africa region. Thank you very much. And I'm also the secretariat and note taker of the evaluation working group.
Good afternoon. My name is Marta Kingsland. I am from Argentina, country coordinator, and I am representing the Latin America and Caribbean region.
Hello, everyone. I'm Komla Mega. I'm from Ghana, and I'm representing African region.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shahina Masood from Pakistan. I'm country coordinator of Pakistan, and I'm representing NANA region here. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nektaria Dagtilu. I'm the external evaluator for Globe Mission Earth, and I am the former chair of this great group.
Hello, I am Andrea Ventoso. I'm country coordinator in Uruguay, former member of the evaluation working group.
Hello, everyone. I'm Siham Salman, assistant of country coordinator of Lebanon. And I was a working group member before, but I'm very delighted to be engaged in these meetings and working with the fantastic team.
We also have our colleague, Kevin O'Connor. Kevin, who is a former member of our group.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Amy Chen, who was our liaison for a brief time before John Ristvi joined us from the GIO, and also Estelle Reynal from the Europe and Eurasia region, who could not be here with us. That sounds very dramatic. She just isn't here. So the primary functions of the evaluation working group are to link the GIO, GPO, and GLOBE community with a focus on evaluation. Communication among those groups is very important to make sure evaluation is looking at the right issues and reporting back where it needs to go. That's what we're striving to do. So we help to gather information and feedback from the GLOBE community in order to support GLOBE programming so that it can grow and improve. And we also seek to disseminate key findings to the GLOBE community. And this is kind of a work in progress. There are a couple of reports floating around out there, and we'd like to maybe do a better job of making some of those important findings digestible so they can get out to the community in ways that are actionable and easier to understand. So I guess we missed the brief a little bit, and we were very focused on this 10-year review and revisioning because we've included our history of activities from 2014 when it first started to 2020. The group developed a student attitudes towards science pre- and post-test survey, an evaluation webinar for the GLOBE community, a one-pager to use with potential funders, and this was translated into 5 languages, teacher needs assessment survey, which was also translated into multiple languages. They conducted assessments of training sessions, interviews with GLOBE teachers, identification of GLOBE-related publications to develop a repository that people could access, and also help develop participant surveys for annual meetings. And it's interesting, we were discussing yesterday when we had our group alumni here how the group has had a bit of a challenge defining its role, and looked back on all they'd done and found actually they'd been quite productive despite that challenge. Some of these resources you can find on the GLOBE website, and this will be a usable hyperlink when you access the PDF later. And later, if there are questions about any of these activities, they were from before my time, but we do have folks here that could respond to them. And now during more recent years, we were going to conduct an updated teacher needs assessment survey. And we collaborated with the education and DEI working groups on this. We wanted to understand what educators needed both to successfully implement their GLOBE activities as well as to evaluate them. It was not ultimately launched, but it was a wonderful learning experience to collaborate with the other groups, and I'll get into why it wasn't launched in just a moment. Bhutan just joined GLOBE as a new country in 2021, not a new country, but a new GLOBE country, that is. And they were developing a survey to evaluate their activities there, and we did a review and offered some feedback. Also, so that the group could learn about evaluation activities other members were doing, I presented on our evaluation of the Student Research Symposia in the US. as well as the tools that we use for that evaluation. And now, a current project that we're working on is the Globe 2023 Evaluation Activities and Needs Survey, for which we collaborated with the GPO, GIO, and ourselves to learn about what Globe countries are doing currently to evaluate Globe implementation in their countries. We discovered in conversations that it wasn't really known what was happening. So this was really just to understand their needs and interests. It wasn't to kind of judge the evaluation performance of the Globe countries, but just to get our first sense of what evaluation activities are going on. So this survey was distributed to the country coordinators by the GIO in April to June of this year. We're doing a presentation on the results by region tomorrow in the country coordinators and US partners joint meeting, but we will disseminate the findings more widely after that. Another notable event this year was when we were joined by Allison Leidner and Amy Chen. They briefed us on Paragon's baseline assessment of Globe activities and REACH, which is a step toward efforts in program level evaluation. And you might have heard about this at the opening session. And can I kind of just see, so who knows, who kind of has seen the Paragon brief or has heard about it? Amy, I'm glad you've seen it. That's really important. So Globe is really kind of zooming out right now, thinking about program level evaluation in a broader, maybe more systematic way. So they met with us and debriefed us on this effort, and we had an opportunity to provide input and feedback and ask questions about this. But it also meant we had to discuss the implications of that, because if they're now, making this effort to kind of implement new program-wide evaluation activities, what is the function of the group? Does it need to be reconsidered? So this is the kind of issue that we're grappling with as part of our revisioning. How can we still make sure the international perspective that the working group brings still be part of Globe evaluation, but maybe with a different function? I don't have an answer for that right now. We're right in the thick of it as we speak. So the way forward, given all that, I did mention dissemination as a role. Obviously, our group has reach into all the regions. So summarizing previous work that has been done and disseminating that out into the regions is one potential role, as well as maybe other evaluation reports that others have done that might have important findings that maybe haven't had the reach into the community that they could. Another example of that is the group did a Globe alumni survey and reported on that. Has anyone seen the results of the alumni survey? So not many people. And there were some really great, actionable, important findings in that report about the role alumni can play to strengthen Globe. And we've seen examples of that here today, including among our group members. We have more than one Globe alumni just in our group. So they don't always stop their involvement when they leave high school. And how can that be garnered? So one thing that came up in that report was developing a database of Globe alumni so that they can continue to be reached after they exit the program, maybe when they go to college, and then maybe they come back and they're Globe educators or serve on a working group. Also maybe developing a communications platform so that they can stay in touch with each other and the other students that they worked with on their Globe projects. And establish new positions, maybe within the GIO focused on alumni, or maybe just sponsoring or hosting alumni organizations and networks. So this is like just a sample of things that have been in reports already, but maybe haven't really been put out there. Okay. So again, another potential role could be, if we're not, one more minute, conducting evaluations ourselves, how can the group still have input? How can we make sure that there's regional representation in GLOBE's program level evaluation efforts? And one other thought that the group had was collaborating with the other working groups and kind of understanding the resources that country coordinators need for evaluation and science and education. And I know there is already a handbook or a toolkit. There is a document that is available to country coordinators, but this is going to be like an easy access. Here are some links, just a kind of a resource collection. And so that was another idea that was proposed as something the evaluation working group could contribute to. And that's all I've got. So thank you very much for your time. Here, would you like this?
Great. Thank you very much to the hard work of the evaluation committee. Obviously, that's true of all of these groups. But I think it's especially important right now as they're rethinking exactly how they can best serve, that there is input from others of you as well. So again, I'll give a pitch to that session tomorrow morning, or not tomorrow, Wednesday morning. It helps if I get it right, where we'll have a chance to discuss this at small tables. All right, our last group, last but not least for sure, is the technology working group. Can you all come up?
Where's Matthias and Charles? Would love to get them up here too. And Eslam. Is Matthias here? Did he skip out? He totally skipped out, didn't he? Right. Charles too? Okay. So unlike the evaluation working group, who seems to have a slightly ambiguous mission, I like to think of our mission at the technology group as just to drive Dave and Cornell crazy. So I just wanted to put that up front. So our chair and our co-chair and our Africa representative are not here. So hence our group looks small, but it is not small. So I just want to give a shout out to our fearless leader, Laura, who just had a baby in Estonia. So cue the ah. Okay. So I'm Sarah. I'm actually Sarah Merzwak. I'm with Globe Mission Earth, and I'm the secretary and current speaker for part of this. And then I hand it over. Okay.
I'm John Calliope from the Philippines, and I represent the Asia Pacific region.
Kristen Weaver, and I'm in the North America region, but I'm the at-large representative.
Hi, my name is Ana Prieto. I represent Latin America and Caribbean region.
I'm Eslam Kair, and I'm the liaison for the Technology Working Group, or GIO. I'm also the liaison for the subcommittee, the Accessibility Subcommittee.
And I'd like to shout out to Lisa Dallas over there. Can you wave hi? Because she is our NASA rep, helps us out. Thanks, Lisa. And then, of course, everybody knows Dave and Cornell. So just very briefly, I wanted to go back through and do a quick, brief look back of not only what the technology working group has done, but it's this kind of a history of the DIS in general. And I really wanted Dave to give me some screenshots of the Wayback Machine, what the website looked like back in the 90s, because I don't know. That would have been really cool to see. So around the time of the formation of the working groups, apparently in 2012 there was a big meeting in what should the future of tech in GLOBE look like. This was also the initial development of the VIS system. And then in 2013, apparently there was a new version, the globe.gov website started, and that's also when you all got the ability to create workshops. The workshop administration tool became available. In 2014, which I found interesting, was 2 years after the VIS system, the ADAT system came online, and the data entry app also came into existence. And in 2016, the website had the functionality to create student accounts. We also started developing the e-trainings, and I know a lot of you worked on those. I did personally as well. And then also started incorporating more of a citizen science approach. And also in 2016, the Globe Observer app launched. Y'all remember how awesome that was with clouds and matching, satellite matching with the school program. So in 2017, the Globe Observer app added the mosquitoes portion, which is super cool. We also had that year in August, the North American eclipse, so we had that little portlet open up for that. In 2017, there was actually a major redesign of the Globe website. And in 2018, the Spheres community started, and land cover was added to the app. And then 2019, and also in 2020, there were eclipses in South America, so those portlets were opened in the app. In 2019, the website user dashboard started to come into development, which is what I'm super excited about. In 2019, trees were added to the app. And 2021 is when the Globe Observer and which was separate data entry app, merged, and that process is still underway, right? So 2021, the first sphere to come online was Atmosphere. That year, 2021 was a very busy year for everybody. The API was introduced, SciStarter was integrated, and then 2022 is when we started really incorporating the use of the alternate user names for student accounts. 2022 also, last year, was the Hydrosphere protocols coming online on the app. And then the API, the website API improvement, and the Davis weather stations coming online through the API, as well as other weather stations. So this year, hot off the press, just a few days ago, we got the Biosphere into, is in the way, into the app. And if y'all haven't installed the update to the app, please do so, because now you will see it. And apparently, which was brand new to me, you guys also worked with the API in those 3D printed weather stations as of July 15th. So lots of amazing things. So I want to hand it over to my colleague Joan here, and she's going to tell you about our accomplishments.
Thank you, Sarah, and good afternoon, everyone. For the detailed accomplishment of the Technology Working Group, we advised Dave and Cornell by providing inputs from the community. Also, we arranged for teachers' review of student account portion of teacher dashboard. Advised and tested for usability of student screen names. Nowadays, we have two options for the student's screen name. One is the system-generated names, and the second is the fan names. Also tested Globe Observer app. And so because of the addition of the Biosphere protocols in the app, we would love to hear feedbacks from you. Reviewed and provided feedback on the new website structure. Continued work with Davis Weather Station. Explored new instrumentations and technology for data collection and analysis. Also investigated and obtained input on rewards and recognitions for using Globe Observer app. As we hear from most people here, teachers wanted more recognitions. So we hear you. Also, the Technology Working Group initiated Accessibility Technology Solutions Subcommittee for visually impaired people and minorities. For our future plans, we would want to provide inputs on learning materials database to make it easier to submit materials, system for rating and review of materials. Also, we would want the audit of instrumentations. Are we using the best tools available for data collections, or are there new instruments that we could be using with existing protocols, such as drones, the DIY instruments, etc. Also, we would like to include discussions of improvements on websites after Liferay update. You can see a lot of updates in our websites. Also provides feedback on language translations on website. Is there a better tool to use? Consider needs for a student zone on website. So we will be getting feedback from our GLOBE students, the GLOBE bloggers group, and the GLOBE alumni networks. Also support testing of new data protocols in GLOBE Observer. Provide any additional testing and support of website as needed. And discussion of data analysis and visualization tools that could support GLOBE. Now I would like to call on the representative of GLOBE Technology Accessibility Subcommittee.
Thank you so much. So thank you to the Technology Working Group. We've assembled members from all the different working groups to work on this subcommittee in accessibility. And our passion is to eliminate barriers for people to be able to participate of GLOBE, including tools, resources, but particularly being able to do the protocols themselves. Our goal is for every GLOBE member and student to be able to do all the program activities. And so currently we are listening and we want to hear from the community, particularly as you work with students that are low vision and blind students on ways that you've interacted with them. We have a survey open, but there's members of all the working groups here. You can approach any of us and talk to us a little bit more about how you interact with those students. And then we have a success story, and I'll pass it to Rosalba.
Thank you. Yeah, we would like to share that as part of the work with this subcommittee, we have been able to partner with the New York Institute for Special Education. And so there are a few students with different visual impairments that have been working closely with the GLOBE Implementation Office. They have been reviewing the GLOBE website and making recommendations for improvements based on their experience of digital accessibility. And so this Thursday, there will be a mini workshop named Exceptional Needs at the Dodgeball Room. There will be many different activities in that workshop, but also as part of that workshop, there will be a video showing the work of these students, so we hope that you will attend. And yeah, so thank you to the Technology Working Group for initiating this subcommittee and for the cross-collaboration with other working groups. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that was all we had. So thank you. And once again, just want to honor Laura Alton from Estonia, because it was her brainchild to come up with that subcommittee idea. So thank you.
All right, thank you to all of the working groups. I don't know about you, I'm not only impressed, but almost a little bit overwhelmed to realize how much work has been done by all 5 of these groups. So let's give them a big hand for that very thing. So you've heard a couple of times references, and you've seen people that are here who are alumni of the working groups. I just wanted to put the context on that because I realized I don't think we shared that with you. This is the 10-year anniversary of the working groups. And so the whole idea was to bring some folks who have been part of this effort in the past to talk together with the current working group members, as yesterday we looked at what we've accomplished and celebrated the accomplishments of the past 10 years. We created a timeline for that, by the way. If any of you are interested, it's still hanging in the Peekaboo room on the 2nd floor. There are now students occupying that room, but the timeline is still there if you want to take a look. It's a pretty impressive depiction, if you will, of some of what you heard here today. We also looked at the present and honestly assessed in discussions among ourselves. And by the way, we had those discussions without the GIO members and NASA present so that we could be honest with each other about what we feel is working well and what could be better. And then finally, we took about most of the afternoon to talk about the future and imagine not only what the big vision could be 10 years from now, the second 10 years, if you will, of the working groups, but also what it is that we would do to keep, drop, or try was the system we used in terms of the immediate things. And so those are being prioritized. The groups will meet again on Friday morning to wrap up that work. But before they do that, this is my last pitch, we really, really want to have any and all of you come join us on Wednesday morning for breakfast. There will be food. That's always a good thing. And we'll have tables set up that you can sit down with the working group members and just have a conversation about not only what we are doing, but what is being planned for the future. So I think that's all for us. I believe it is time for us to end as well, and I believe there's a reception tonight, so hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with some of you. Thank you all so very, very much for attending, and before you leave, Simon has some important announcements.